It's not enough to focus on making an incremental change in graduation rates, an incremental change in the success of the disadvantaged. We have to make huge leaps.
I think we need to have more conversations about education, about learning, about community, and the value of encouraging excellence.
For me, it was an assessment of where we're going, where we're doing things well with the external world, and where maybe we're not.
Okay, let's start and tell me 2 skills that you have used in running groups.
I think the most important thing I do as a moderator is listen to what people are saying, and try to then do some of these other things, add clarity, make connections. I think the training process is excellent, and it's an important thing to do. I think this is engaging people across the spectrum of the college and beyond in a joint endeavor. So I think this is a great first step.
Keep discussion moving. That is one of the prime responsibilities of a moderator, to keep the discussion moving.
Knowing that you're going to get the guidance before you step your foot into the water makes you feel a lot more secure that when you do get there, you'll have the correct training behind you.
And we've invited you here tonight because we want to hear what you think we can all do to better serve our students. And there's not a place in the country that cares more about education or its youth than San Antonio. So we know that we're going to get good feedback from you, and we're all going to be working together to help our students be more successful.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I want to thank everyone for being here this morning. We have a wonderful turnout. Probably about 120 folks from every aspect of the communities that we serve are here, and I want to welcome you for coming out this morning. A very chilly morning, but one that I think you will find very rewarding.
This is a day for us to come together, work as a team, look at each other, agree to disagree, have dialogue about where we think our future ought to be. We're going to break out into sessions. When we leave here, each one of you will go to a different room. You will get a chance to have this honest dialogue that we have come here and came through all of this weather just to have our chance to have our say.
You go ahead and get your food. We've got it over here. Just come back in here and eat, and we'll be in the rooms about 7 o'clock. Thank you again for being here.
I think it was a very good way to start a community gathering, because it's easier to break the ice over food as opposed to just throwing us into session and discussion. You know, it was very relaxed, and people got to pre-discuss some of the things that we were going to talk about in the smaller groups.
In talking to these people in the initial breakfast, you begin to look at the areas they're coming from, and you know that this is going to be a rich conversation.
My name is Jackie Gorman Johnson, and I am going to be the moderator for this evening. We can disagree with ideas and concepts, but we don't disagree with each other. And so if we can keep that spirit of collegiality going while we're doing this, we will get so much more accomplished.
Welcome to our small group discussion, part of our community conversation about achieving the dream. I'm Sonia Ahuja, and I will be your moderator. And as you introduce yourself, just give us an idea, give us your name and your role, and some idea of what brought you here to this conversation.
Mary Peniston. I work for the superintendent of Norwalk Public Schools.
I'm Monique Bongartz. My son is a student here. I've taken some classes here.
My name is Robert Lamont. I am a professor here at Norwalk Community College. It's always good to have a conversation on how to improve what we try to achieve here in Norwalk and at the community, and that's why I'm here today.
My name is Ari Disraeli. I am an alumni of this wonderful institution. It gave me a lot of advantages and opportunities, and I like to give back to it.
The first thing we're going to do is watch a video, and that's kind of a conversation starter video. And in that video, we are going to look at 3 approaches. And as you are watching the video, I would ask that you try to identify which one is going to be your favorite approach, because that's what we're going to use to start the conversation.
Success is what counts. a community conversation to help all community college students achieve. Approach 1, make sure students are ready to do college-level work. Approach 2, help students deal with the pressures in their lives. Approach 3, ensure a rigorous and engaging academic experience.
So you heard 3 different approaches to how we can help community colleges students succeed. So the first thing we're going to do is try to figure out where we are as a group within those 3 approaches. Which one did you pick?
I picked the one.
Why did you pick one, Esteban?
Because I feel that we do need to be better prepared for college.
I'm for all of them, but I think if we kind of focus on number 3, from my point of view, you know, that we can incorporate number 1 and number 2 and number 3, and we can have like great education for all students.
We had some very unique perspectives that a lot of us were not prepared to hear, but when we heard them, I really think it changed the dynamic of the group, and it changed where we went with our discussion.
I like all 1, 2, and 3. I think preparation is very, very important. But what is also important is to try to tie success in education to success in life. And that's one thing we do not do very well.
When people feel that they've got a voice and that they have the power to make change, then they are willing to do it. And so I think that what they were saying is, we will do this work for you if you value what we give you.
There is a very huge gap in the difference of the level of work you're expected to do in the high school to when you get to the university level.
I think colleges and universities should be the loudest voices to talking about reform at the public school level, because the public schools are not providing them the students that they need.
The conversation was better than I expected. It was more people-friendly than I really thought it was going to be. I thought there was a potential for maybe argumentative debates, that type of thing, but it wasn't. It was a free-flowing conversation between people who really cared about the community.
I'd be very interested to see what would happen if we set up almost a separate kind of school for that remediation, for the levels of people that aren't ready to take the 100-level classes.
I really think that if the community college wants them to be successful, you have to be responsive to that. I think that you can challenge them even at the most remedial levels and really get them to aspire for high levels of things, but you got to give them the toolkit to be able to do it.
I personally am against tagging students with your developmental student or your special ed kid, and you should be identified as such. I think part of the community college is the community feeling of the education.
I found it very interesting that there were so many different cultures, the diversity, and yet we all came up with the same ideas, the same problems that we wanted resolved.
You know, we just need to look at the whole range of pressures that students are under, and that can be for academic developmental reasons, it can be for any variety of reasons that makes it difficult for them to show up prepared on any given day.
And let's try to be specific, like, for example, create mentoring programs. Let's try to use action verbs and just start listing what we think we can do as a community and as a college to help our students. So, okay, Marina.
I think we should have more staff also
Okay. More staff.
according to the population of the students that we have. We don't have enough Hispanics.
So I think student focus groups, so that they can tell us, you know, within the college, what some of their needs are. This was very helpful today.
I think there needs to be, I don't like the word outreach necessarily, but there needs to be something occurring in those communities that lets people understand what the asset is here.
I've been in community college education over 25 years. We've always measured our success by enrollment. That's not what this is about. This is about what we do with them after they're enrolled, how we help them.
Let's talk a little bit now about, having had this conversation, what do you feel like you are maybe called to do next? Do you feel that you want to be involved somehow in this project?
We came up with 3 ideas that we felt were of high priority. The first one we mentioned was a mentoring program. We could have high school students mentoring elementary school students, college students mentoring high school students, community leaders mentoring college students.
We could have done this on our own, but Public Agenda helped us to have a structure. Without their help, this would not have been nearly as successful because we wouldn't have known how to do it.
Our questions and concerns. Do high school teachers make college sound hard? We did have 2 college students in our group, so they gave great input.
While certainly there were comments shared that are critical comments, they were shared because of the Public Agenda choice work framework we were given in a really positive way. So I was really pleased with that. It did not degenerate into some sort of a gripe session or negative event at all.
People were excited about actually getting involved in these things in terms of mentoring, in terms of alums wanting to write letters, getting students involved civically, taking part in community boards. And
having a conversation like this totally takes you outside the box. It gets you in a situation where you're able to hear other people's ideas about what's going on, and also you're able to share your ideas. So I think that this was magnificent.
This is very important to me. Being a current student, these are issues that we're faced with daily. And to actually be a part of this and actually be in the process of maybe changing it is a wonderful opportunity.
I'd like to take 1 second to thank our moderators and recorders, if you will.
It is amazing how many people said the same thing. People really care. They want contact with us. They want this information to go out. They want us to help our students succeed. And I'm very encouraged by that. But I want to thank the people for coming, because the people are what matter, and they really came through for us tonight. Thank you.
So I want to thank everyone again for being here today. This is the beginning of what will be a series of engagements and conversations. Please keep in touch, and we will certainly keep in touch with you. Thank you so much.